Long, long ago, there was a beautiful village hidden deep in the heart of the forest. It had green fields, clear rivers, and happy people. Birds sang in the trees, and children played under the sun. But today, no one remembers its name. It's not on any map. It's not in any book. Even the oldest elders do not know what to call it. It's as if the village vanished from history. But it was real. And something happened there, something strange, something powerful. This is the story of the village that forgot its name. Once, the nameless village was full of life. People laughed as they worked in the fields. Drums played at night. The river flowed strong, and the forest gave its gifts freely. At the center of the village stood a grand hut, where Chief Okuta lived. He wore fine robes, golden rings, and always walked with his nose high in the air. But Chief Okuta had changed. He wasn't always greedy. Long ago, he cared for the people. But the more the village grew, the more he wanted. He wanted more yams, more gold, more goats, even more praise. Soon, he started taking too much from the people. "Pay me extra," he said. "For protection. Bring me your biggest harvest," he demanded. "If you don't, I'll send my guards." People whispered behind his back. Chief Okuta has forgotten the old ways. He laughed and said, "Old ways don't fill my stomach." He even did something no one had ever dared. He ordered trees from the sacred forest to be cut down. Trees the spirits had blessed. Trees that were never to be touched. The elders warned him. "Chief, the spirits are watching." But Okuta only scoffed. "Let them watch," he said. "I am the chief." At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, things began to change. The sky stayed dry. Crops stopped growing. Children fell sick. The river no longer sang, it only trickled, sad and slow. Birds flew away. The forest went quiet. The people were afraid. They gathered at the shrine and prayed to the spirits, but there was only silence. Chief Okuda stayed in his big house, counting coins and eating while others went hungry. The village was falling apart. And no one could stop it. Not yet. One morning, just before sunrise, something strange happened. The birds did not sing. The wind didn't blow. Even the trees stood still, like they were holding their breath. The villagers woke up as usual, but something was wrong. Very wrong. A little boy ran to his mother and asked, "Mama, what's the name of our village again?" She smiled, ready to answer, but her smile faded. She blinked. She opened her mouth, and no sound came. She didn't know. She couldn't remember. No one could. They asked the elders, the chief, the traders, the priests. Everyone tried to speak it, but their mouths fell silent, like the name had been stolen from their tongues. They ran to the village sign. It was blank. They checked the old scrolls. Every word was there, except the name. Gone. Forgotten? It was as if their home had never had a name. Fear spread like fire. Is this a sickness? Is it a curse? What have we done? Then someone whispered, "It's the spirits. They've erased us." The people gathered at the shrine once more. They beat drums. They lit fires. They begged for mercy. But the spirits did not answer. The village was nameless. And with no name, they were lost. Forgotten? Strangers walked past without seeing them. Birds flew over without landing. Even the stars seemed to shine elsewhere. And deep in his hut, Chief Okuta finally felt afraid. While the village cried and waited for a miracle, one girl stood quietly by the river. Her name was Nia. She was 14 years old, with curious eyes, quick feet, and a heart full of stories. Nia lived with her grandmother, the village's oldest storyteller. Every night, Grandma told her tales of ancient spirits, talking trees, and magical rivers that remembered everything. Nia loved those stories. She believed them. So when the village lost its name, she didn't sit and wait. She listened. She felt the silence in the trees. She watched the river flow slower each day. And she whispered, "Spirits, I know you're still here." While others blamed the chief, or hid in fear, Nia made a choice. "I will find the spirits," she said. "I will ask for our name back." The elders laughed gently. "Oh child, the spirits are gone." The chief growled, "Stay out of this. This is not your problem." But Nia stood tall. "If no one else will go," she said, "then I will." Her grandmother touched her cheek and handed her a small necklace, a tiny carving of a bird made from river stone. "This is your guide," she said softly. "It will remind you who you are." Nia packed her sling, a water gourd, and a bit of bread. She looked back at the village, scared, broken, silent. Then she turned toward the dark forest. Toward the unknown. And she walked. One step. Then another. And another. Until the trees swallowed her whole. The sacred forest was not like any other forest. The trees were tall and twisted, with leaves that shimmered like tiny stars. Vines moved like snakes, and the wind carried whispers, some gentle, some angry. But Nia walked on. At first, the path was clear. Birds followed her. Light danced between the trees. But deeper inside, things changed. Suddenly, the path disappeared. She turned left, nothing. Right, more trees. Everywhere looked the same. Then came the laughing monkeys. Mischievous spirits in animal form. They swung from branches and called out, little girl, lost and alone. Want to go home?" One monkey dropped down and grinned. "Answer our riddle, and we'll show you the way." Nia smiled. "All right." The monkey clapped. "What has no tongue, but speaks? No legs, but moves? No life, but remembers?" Nia closed her eyes and thought, then whispered, "The river." The monkeys shrieked in delight. "She's clever." The path appeared beneath her feet again, glowing faintly like moonlight. She walked on. Soon, she reached a deep trench with no bridge. Below was an invisible river. She could hear it, but not see it. A voice echoed, "To cross, speak a truth from your heart." Nia looked into the mist and said, "I'm afraid. I don't know what I'm doing. But I still believe I can help." The river shimmered into view, clear and silver. A stone bridge rose slowly from its depths. She crossed it carefully. Finally, after what felt like hours, Nia entered a quiet grove. At the center stood a giant tree, taller than any building, with a trunk wide as a house. Its bark was silver and glowing. Its branches moved gently, though there was no wind. This was the whispering tree. Ancient. Alive. Around it, spirits began to appear, shapes of animals, wind, flame, and water. Eyes glowing, voices soft and powerful. One spoke in a voice like thunder and song. "Child of the forgotten village, why have you come?" Nia stepped forward, her necklace glowing faintly. She bowed and said, "Because we've lost our name. We lost our way. But I want to remember. Please help me find the truth." The spirit stared. The tree's branches stirred. And the ground began to tremble. The whispering tree stood still, then spoke. "To return your village's name, you must pass 3 trials. Each one a memory lost. Each one a lesson forgotten. Nia nodded. I'm ready. The first trial, truth. The world around her melted away. Suddenly, she was back in the village, but something was different. People walked by her, smiling, laughing. Even Chief Okuta was kind. Look how happy everyone is, someone said beside her. It was a girl who looked just like her. But this isn't real, Nia said slowly. The other girl frowned. Isn't this what you want? A village with no pain, no problems. Nia looked around, everything was perfect. But too perfect. Then she saw the old shrine. Broken. Forgotten? No, Nia said firmly. The truth is, we made mistakes. We hurt the spirits. We must face that. With those words, the perfect world shattered like glass. Full moon, the second trial, sacrifice. Now she stood in the forest, cold and alone. The spirits appeared, their voices surrounding her. To bring back your name, they said. You must give up something you love. Before her floated her grandmother's necklace, the one made of river stone. It glowed warmly in her hand. She clutched it. It was her last piece of home. Her guide. But after a long breath, she whispered. If this is the price to save my people, then I will give it. She placed the necklace at the base of the tree. The spirits bowed their heads. Fire, the third trial, unity. Suddenly, she was standing in front of Chief Okuta. He looked broken. Angry. Lost. He shouted, this is your fault. You think you're better than me? Nia felt anger rise in her chest. But then she saw his eyes. They were afraid. She stepped forward and said gently, no. I don't want to fight you. I want us to fix this, together. She reached out her hand. He stared, then took it. The spirits glowed brighter. The forest sang. Deciduous tree, the whispering tree whispered. You have passed. You remembered the truth. You gave from your heart. You chose unity over blame. Then, like a breeze from ancient times, a name filled the air. Ndaranu. The lost name. The name of the village. The spirits rose into the sky like stars, and the whispering tree smiled. Nia had done it. She had brought the name home. The forest opened before her. Nia walked home with quiet steps, but the trees bowed as she passed, and the wind carried a song only the spirits knew. In her heart, she carried more than a name. She carried truth. She carried hope. When she stepped into the village, people ran to her. Nia. You're alive. What happened? She smiled and looked at the shrine. It was glowing. She stood in the center of the village and raised her voice. Our name is Ntaranu. At that moment, a gust of wind rushed through the village. Drums began to beat in the distance. The river bubbled joyfully. The blank sign at the village gate, the letters returned, glowing in the morning light. Ntaranu, the place that remembers. The elders dropped to their knees. Tears filled their eyes. Chief Okuta stepped forward slowly. His voice shook. Nia. I was wrong. I forgot the old ways. I forgot the people. Can you ever forgive me? Nia nodded. If we want the spirits to forgive us, we must forgive each other first. The villagers gathered around her. Hands joined. Heads bowed. And from the trees above, glowing shapes watched, spirits of water, wind, and earth. The spirits were no longer angry. Because the village had remembered. It remembered truth. It remembered love. And most importantly, it remembered its name. Years passed, and the village of Ntaranu began to thrive again. The crops grew tall and strong. The river sparkled with life. The trees danced in the wind, and the sun always seemed to shine just right. People no longer lived in fear. Chief Okuta, though once proud and greedy, had changed. He now listened to the wisdom of the elders and worked with the people, not above them. He helped build homes, plant fields, and most importantly, he remembered. But it was Nia, the brave girl, who became the true leader. She did not sit in a grand hut or wear expensive robes. Instead, she walked barefoot through the village, listening to the stories of old. Every evening, by the fire, Nia gathered the children and told them stories of the village's journey, from the time when it had no name, to the trials she faced, to the powerful lesson that had saved them all. She spoke of unity, of truth, of sacrifice. She told them how the spirits had helped, and how they must always remember what it meant to be kind, to honor the earth, and to honor each other. She became the storyteller chief, keeper of the village's legacy. And as the years went on, the village flourished. People came from far and wide to hear the tale of Ntaranu, the village that had lost its name and found it again. And the name was never forgotten. It was passed down, from generation to generation, carried in the hearts of the people. The village of Ntaranu would always be remembered. And so would Nia. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories. Turn on your notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.